Hi folks, John Cordisco here. Sorry it's been a while since my last video. You know, life gets in the way of your chess. Kind of sucks, but oh well. This is a really neat game. It's round 7 of the European Individual Chess Championship being played in Jerusalem. As white and Nisipeanu. Now all of you that follow chess know to me he's the polished version of Joe Bava, where he's really interesting player. And as black, see if I can butcher this name, Bukavshin, Ivan Bukavshin is black. Let's get to it. Nisipeanu is white, Bukavshin is black. It's going to be a Tamanov Sicilian. It gets really crazy real quick. Let's just go through the opening moves. We don't really know I'm going into depth on the opening. Queen, bishop e7, castle's long, so typical. We're going to see if we're going to get a pawn storm for white this way and a pawn storm for black this way. That's the way it usually goes. Knight f6, f3, b5. According to the computer here, that's the last book move. King to b1, I call that a grandmaster move. Knight e5. Okay, here we are. We're out of book. Let's take a look here. Pretty much typical Sicilian setup. I don't see anything really unusual so far. Knight on e5 is a little interesting. g4, which is also the computer move. h6. That way white can't chase off the knight. And then this pawn can come up as well. That would be really bad for black. Queen g2 brings the queen over the king side. Is black in a castle? Well, let's see. b4 to chase the knight. Knight goes to a4. d5. Go right away at white center. Just open it up and get to it. f4. Chasing the knight. Knight takes. Now this is a pawn sacrifice purposely. Well, all pawn sacrifices are on purpose, but I like this already for white. That's a good pawn sacrifice. Look at this open file. If he had taken with the other knight instead, bishop c1, not so good. Not so good. The threat is pawn here. There's a whole bunch of stuff can go wrong. He took with the correct knight. Bishop c1 anyway again. e5. Computer like knight takes. And after queen takes, bishop f6. And believe it or not, white's up a piece for 2 pawns in that scenario, but it's a half pawn advantage for black. Let's go back to the game. e5, f takes, knight takes, e6. You've got to love that move. Just opens the king up some more. Now the computer liked bishop d3 better. By quite a bit better, actually. 3/4 of a pawn difference. But in all fairness, it's a very human move. e6. If you had gone bishop d3, after castles, the bishop takes, pawn takes, this rook over, and it's pretty dangerous for black. Not the end of the world, mind you, but after e6, knight, what else can he do? Queen takes g7. Now it's going to start to get crazy. Now take a look at this position. Who would you rather have, black or white? Believe it or not, according to the computer, black has almost a full point advantage. I wouldn't want to be black here. Bishop f6. Knight to b5. Now there's a lot going on here. A lot going on. You go through the scenario if this pawn takes and bishop checks. And all kinds of crazy stuff is going on here. Got to remember this rook here, this pawn. That's what happens, folks, when you don't castle. And black decides to take the pawn. What to do, what to do? King takes the queen. Bishop takes the queen. Okay. This scenario, black is up a pawn, but interesting, instead of black taking queen to c2, his bishop takes, Knight checks, king f8, bishop d3. Interesting scenario. But after queen takes, king takes, bishop takes. Of course, Nisipeanu checks, king moves. Now, what would we do, all of us here? Would we take that rook? Would you? Honestly, the correct move is knight takes check. If he had taken the rook, looks good, but all of a sudden knight takes, pawn takes, bishop f5, king takes, knight f2 check, because you got to move the king out of the discovered check, king to e2, and knight takes. And black is winning. So, look before you move. King takes c6, bishop g2. That king looks awful weird out there in the open, and so does white's. That's why I like this game so much. It's really, really unusual. Bishop b5. Get your pieces around your king when you get panicky. Not as good as knight takes, rook takes, bishop takes, rook, king. I think white's doing well there. It's two knights for a rook and a pawn. I'll take two knights over rook and a pawn anytime. Rook over to e1, f5 to guard that knight. Or I should say guard the square. Knight to c5 check. What to do, what to do. Computer likes knight takes c5. Then knight to e4 check. Or excuse me, knight to f4 check. Second choice, close second, is king to f7 with black dead. Now knight takes, knight takes. Those of you who are wondering about f takes, rook f1. You try to save the knight, but it just doesn't work. And that's what would happen there. And that's doomed for black. After knight takes, bishop takes e4. Now this is one of those crazy games. The computers love games like this, where it's so hard for us mere mortals, and computers can defend just perfectly. And believe it or not, it's a small advantage here for white, a third of a pawn only. White's up a piece for a pawn. Well, we'll take back here. Black's up a pawn currently, and white's got a tiny advantage. It's one of those weird games. But black does have the bishop pair. Rook takes, rook to e8, rook checks. Not as good as bishop takes. After bishop f5, of course now you see the pin. Oops. Rook f1, king moves over, rook takes, king takes, rook takes. And the computer gives this scenario here with the advantage for black. But after rook to f1 check, king to g6, just get the hell out of the way. Knight checks. Some people would wonder if we took the pawn. After bishop checks, rook, rook, king, king takes, bishop takes, rook b8, advantage for black. After knight to f4, bishop takes, rook takes, now you have opposite color bishops. Is this going to be drawn? I don't know, we'll see. If you had taken with the other rook, give you an idea what would have happened. Rook takes, bishop. Oops. What are you going to do there? You're kind of SOL. Took with the right rook. Bishop h3, hitting the rook. Rook checks. King h5. After all that craziness, we're down to even material, opposite color bishops. 2/3 of a pawn advantage for Nisipeanu is white. What can black do here? And what would you do? Just solidify and hope for a draw? Rook takes the pawn. Rook checks. King comes up. Did he take the pawn? Nope. Rook f8. Now we're watching this game on Livestream. If you go to livestream.com and punch in European Individual Chess Championship, you'll see a lot of the video for some of the rounds. You'll see all the rounds. It's got some pretty good selections there. They're on move 34, and if I recall, they were getting low on time, but it wasn't really crucial yet. Rook to g3. Now, I'm going to see what happens here, but as you get close to the time control, now these guys, this was a really complicated game, even for this level. Bukavshin is rated 26-22, and Nisipeanu is rated 26-54. These guys are great players. It takes a ton of energy. And you're going to see what happens is when you've been fighting so hard, you finally get out of a bad jam. You just miss Q. Rook takes the pawn. Get back even material again. Rook to b6. How is he going to guard that pawn? King to h4 is a suggestion for the computer. Rook to h8. Rook to h8. Give you an idea if king had gone rook to g1, bishop g2, rook takes, king g3, rook takes. A pretty good advantage for white. It looks like maybe this ending is lost. We'll have to see. One pawn up now with two connected passers on the queen side for Nisipeanu. Bishop g4. Block the scope of that rook. Rook c3. It's tough going right now here for black. Computer likes rook to e2 for black. Rook to bishop d1 check. He goes bishop f5. I thought it was a decent move, and now all of a sudden the points are piling up. It's an over 2-point advantage now for white. a4. Here we go. We start pushing the pawns. King to g4. Very instructive ending. Rook b6. Making his way. Those rooks and that king are going to escort those pawns. There's nothing he can do about it. Bishop e4. Rook f6. Rook e2. King a3. Get the king out of the way. Rook d8. And slowly he's turning the screws now. Bishop takes. Now he's down 2 full pawns. What's the hope? That black can sacrifice his bishop for the 2 pawns? It's not going to happen. Rook to d1. Bishop c1. Blocking that back rank right off. Bishop c2. Rook checks. Beautiful control here. This bishop blocks this rook from getting in. This bishop guards that rook. Nice, huh? Rook to h3 check. Now, those of you that are wondering, if he hadn't have done that, remember, this bishop is hanging. Check. King g6. Rook g3 check. He has to go to h5 or it's mate. Now the points are piling up. It's almost a 4-point advantage. Rook to f8. He moves the rook. Threatening mate. So he can't take the bishop. Still. King h4. Rook to g7. Threatening mate again. Rook to d3 check. King just hides. Bishop b3. King a1. Rook. Rook f1. Guard that back rank. You're fine. Rook comes down. Rook takes. Bishop takes. a5. Here comes the pawn. Not much that he can do. Rook d4. King to b1. Rook a4. It is so discouraging when you've been working so hard. Bishop d2 to guard the pawn. Bishop comes up. Bishop checks. checks and guards the pawn. King moves, rook. It's just a matter of technique now, slowly turning the screws. King, b5. Not much he can do. Pretty helpless. b6. Rook comes up. King c2. Rook, king, king. Rook, checks. Bishop blocks. King. Now, what do you do here? Rook takes e6. King takes. Pawn comes up. Rook, pawn, king, pawn. And that's it. The game is over. He's going to queen no matter what. There's nothing he can do. Absolutely nothing. King comes here. He's going to queen. King can't do anything else. Rook takes. He queens. Nice game by Nisipeanu. I haven't done a video in a while. I thought this was a really good game to do it in. Anyway, folks, that's one of the games from the European Individual Chess Championship currently being played in Jerusalem. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. And I want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.